Okay, so I just finished chapters 10 and 11, which is kind of weird because those are the last two chapters of the book. So this will be my last video specific to two chapters. I'm going to do one more wrapping up the whole experience. But yeah, so done with the book, and I'm going to talk about chapters 10 and 11 together in this one video. So chapter 10 is called Failure Immunity. And it's not about trying to help you find ways to never fail, because that's impossible, obviously, but it's all about how to change your mindset where failures don't hurt as much and where you're not like as afraid to fail. So you get immunity from the negative feelings of failure rather than immunity of like never failing again. And then chapter 11, I forgot what it's called. Oh, chapter 11 is called Building a Team. So it's about how you can build your designing your life team to kind of carry you forward. Because just because you finish the book does not mean you're done with designing your life. And the book is, I think, very helpful to help you continue going through the steps while you're reading it. But it's probably very likely that then people kind of revert to some of their old habits afterwards. And so I think building a team helps you prevent against that. And so I definitely would recommend going through the failure immunity exercise. It kind of helps you log your failures and see what you can learn from them so they're not really failures as much as learning experiences. But really my biggest takeaway wasn't from doing that exercise. It was just from a concept they talked about. So I'm going to talk about that for chapter 10. So the concept that they talk about in chapter 10 is called the infinite game. This is one of my favorite concepts that I've actually read about in the past, where basically the idea is life is made up of two types of games: finite games and infinite games. Finite games are kind of the traditional games that we all know about. So things like checkers, playing basketball, any kind of sports like that. Just like the definition of a finite game is there are rules. Everyone knows the rules, and there are winners and losers. Like at the end of the game, you can say, this is the person who won, and this is the person who lost. However, infinite games do not have winners and losers. There's no single winner. Everyone else is not a loser. And in fact, the rules are kind of like flexible. And so the reason I want to talk about it and the reason I love the idea so much is a lot of times in life we can start thinking about life as a finite game. You're at work, you didn't get the promotion, you're having a power struggle with people and you want to win life. Like, I must win this situation. But if you actually totally change your thinking, there are no winners and losers. Life is an infinite game. You're at work, you think that this other person has this power over you. It's kind of all made up in your head. And in the end, everyone can be a winner if they find out what matters to them and like live and structure and think about life in the way they want. And so it's kind of just a reminder of the entire life, the rules, aside from like laws and like don't kill people, the rules really are all made up and you can make your own and they're flexible. And as a player of an infinite game, once you kind of realize that, you're playing on this whole different like chessboard. Like everyone else is playing down here and they're playing this rules to try to win at this game that they think there's this finite set of winners and losers. But really, as an infinite game player, you elevate yourself to this whole new chessboard where things, you just see things at a whole new level and things just have a totally different perspective. So infinite game is the biggest reminder I'm taking away from chapter 10. Sorry, that was a really, really, really nerdy aside, but I just love the concept, and it's a good reminder when you're in moments that you think are like black and white and you think it's going to screw up your whole life, and really then you realize I get to make my own rules. And then chapter 11, building a team. I think this one I'm a little nervous about because there's one thing to like do the book yourself and it's another thing to ask people to do something for you. So the idea of asking like 3 to 4 people to be part of my Designing My Life group and asking them to commit time to talking about me seems like really selfish, and I don't want to put that burden on people. But that also might be me hiding from involving people in the process, because then like you could look stupid or they might not. They'll challenge you to actually do what you said you're going to do. So I'm saying in this video that I have identified 4 people, through who I know in different phases of my life. So some professional, some more personal, who I'm pretty sure that they'll be okay with me asking to be part of my Designing My Life committee. And my commitment through this video is to reach out to them and actually build this board where maybe we kind of like do a video hangout every other month or something like that, and kind of like see how the journey is going for me. And obviously, if anyone who's watching this video is interested in going through the same journey for themselves, I am 100% more than willing to be on your board if you would like me to. Don't even be afraid to ask, because the fact that you haven't unsubscribed completely and stopped being my friend through this whole experience is pretty amazing. And so I am more than willing to do anything to repay the favor. So yeah, chapters 10 and 11, that's it. Like, close the book on designing your life, and stay tuned for my last video, which will just kind of wrap it all up and let you know where I'm going from here, and like just to say thank you. So yeah, I guess life is designed kind of. Bye.